Hello, I'm Gray.
And I'm Matt, and welcome to MHS News. Today we'll be talking about arrests, more specifically drug arrests.
An arrest is when someone is seized by a legal authority and taken into custody for doing something against the law. A drug arrest is when you are arrested for dealing, injecting, or using illegal drugs.
The term war on drugs was popularized by the media after a press conference on June 8, 1971 by President Richard Nixon, during which he declared drug abuse public enemy number one. However, 2 years before this, President Nixon had formally declared a war on drugs that would be directed toward eradication, interdiction, and incarceration.
In the 2 decades following 1980, the national drug arrest rate among blacks increased roughly 650 to 2,907 per 100,000 population, while the national drug arrest rate among whites increased from approximately 350 to 463 people per 100,000 persons. Latinos are as likely as blacks to be incarcerated in state prison for drug offenses, and nearly 80% of those currently serving time in state prison for drug offenses are black or Latinos.
Many different communities of color bear the impact of discriminatory enforcement on drug laws. The drug war has produced profoundly unequal outcomes across racial groups, manifested through racial discrimination by law enforcement and disproportionate drug war misery suffered by communities of color.
This problem affects all of us. Every race will do drugs, but it seems only that the African Americans and minorities are the ones getting in trouble for actually using and possessing drugs. When the middle or upper classes see these things happen, we only see them as bad people, and we only think negatively of them without knowing any hard times they could be going through.
One organization that helps with this problem is the Drug Policy Alliance. It is committed to exposing discrimination and disproportionate drug law enforcement, as well as the systems that perpetuate them.
Some facts on drug arrests. 1.5 million people arrested for drug violations in 2012, over 80% for simple possessions. And more than half of the people currently in federal prisons are incarcerated on drug charges.
Another interesting fact, Illinois incarcerates the greatest proportion of people for marijuana possession compared to the higher level trafficking charges, and the state boasts the third highest disparity between blacks and whites in terms of those incarcerated for possession.
Substance abuse treatment prisons are being developed, such as the Sheridan Correctional Center in Illinois.
African Americans account for 78% of those arrested, 89% of those convicted, and 92% of those jailed for low-level possession in Chicago. African Americans were 15 times more likely to be arrested for simple possession than That's all we have for today. I'm Matt.
And I'm Gray. Thank you for joining.